Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Purdue Boilermaker Omnium. I was right at the end of March in Purdue, West Lafayette, Indiana. It was a super fun race, pretty windy, and the weather wasn't great, but it ended up turning out to be a good weekend for racing. Real quick, I wanted to get this video out before I got my reel out on Instagram, but we recently got hit with some pretty severe weather, some tornadoes and stuff, so I didn't have time to edit this video. So I apologize about that, but yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's get into the video. Okay, so right now, I'm just doing some warm-up laps, just get the course figured out. So I'll just take you guys through the course. So this is a tailwind going into the finish, and then up into the first few corners. So that will play a pivotal role later in the race. These corners are pretty technical. You can pedal through them at race pace, just a little bit sketchy. Your pedal gets awfully close to the ground. That one is the tightest corner that we just went through. There's a pothole on the outside, or a manhole cover, I should say. So I need to look out for that because if you hit that wrong, you're gonna go off the course and probably break something. Up into this corner, it's wide open, and then this goes into the headwind section of the course. So you want to get to the right side because it's coming from the left for the most part, and you want to get to the right as soon as possible. That way nobody can stay in your draft and suck wheels. So we're currently coming up into the hardest section of the course for the day, just because the wind, I would say the wind gusts were over 30 during the race, so it's tough in this back section here. We were doing like 300 watts at 19 miles an hour. It was really demoralizing, and this actually plays a very important role for the breakaways. So all the breakaways of the day, literally every single one, they would go out for half a lap, they would attack in the tailwind, and then they would get a gap, and then in the headwind they would get caught. And that is very important for me, as you guys will see later in the video. I try doing the same thing, and it works out the same way that it worked out for everyone else. So as I put up to the finish, I'm going to stop recording here soon and get ready for the race. But you can pedal through this corner, and you'll need to start sprinting around here. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the spot to sprint, but that was the optimal line. So this is the start of the race. Line up, first call, boom. Miss my clip in. Attack from the gun, and I just get shot out the back. And this is the back of the field. This wasn't a very big field, but this made for a very hard first 10 or 15 minutes of the race. So for the first 10 or 15 minutes, I had to chase. I chased by myself for about 2 laps, and then I worked with a few guys, that Michigan guy being one of them, just to catch back on to the group because it was full gas from the gun until about 20 minutes in. And luckily we did catch it back on, but it was a very tough effort. So you can see right now, the group is about 30, 40 meters up the road, and I'm working with 2 other guys, the guys I just talked about. I didn't talk about the other guy, but working together to catch back on, and the gap just keeps coming back and going out and coming back and going out. And it was so demoralizing. I was extremely close to just giving up and DNFing, 10 minutes into the race. And this super hard effort from the gun is what dropped Zane. So unfortunately, Zane did not have a great day on the bike. It's all right. He'll come back. He's a very strong rider. But everyone has their days. He got dropped about 2 or 3 laps in, so I didn't have a teammate to work with for this race, which definitely changed the dynamics a little bit. But as you guys will see, I don't think a teammate would have helped a lot with my situation. But yeah, I'll just skip forward a little bit until we catch back onto the group, and then we can go from there. So this is a little while later in the race. As you can see, I've caught onto the group, and right now I'm just trying to catch my breath and get a little bit of stamina back in the legs because that was a brutal effort to catch back on. Luckily, the pace slows down and nothing happens for a few laps, so I can get a little bit of recovery in and figure out what my next moves are going to be later in the race. So this is a little while later in the race, coming into the headwind, and Jackson Clary just pulled off. He's very strong. I've talked about him before, but Marion got on the front, and I'm feeling good, so I decided to whack it a little bit, put in a dig into the headwind section, and logically this is a smart place to attack, but put into practice, it's very hard to get away here because the speed differential isn't great, and you need a big speed differential to get a proper breakaway going. So unfortunately, this doesn't go anywhere, but I have a few more opportunities to attack, which I do take later in the video, so I'll show you guys those. And luckily, some of those are a little more successful than others. So we are currently coming into 1 lap to go, bell lap, and I'm in a pretty good position for a sprint. I am not a sprinter. I do have a sprint on me, but I prefer not to use it. I definitely prefer to go for longer attacks. So I decide that this is going to be my moment where it's the win or lose situation here. So everyone is just going super slow. The pace is very low right now, and I'm afraid someone's going to attack before I do. So I want to start moving up a little bit. I start moving to the left here. The pace starts to speed up a little bit with the Supus fellow guy on the front. And I decided this is where I'm going to make my move. I should have attacked right through that corner, but I decided to wait until the straight, go over to the left, and just dump it. And this was my final effort. This was everything I had. So you could see we are going to be absolutely flying in this tailwind here. I think I was doing like 38 sustained for this section, and it felt really cool to go this fast. Unfortunately, since it's a tailwind, it was really hard to get a gap, and everyone was just following me. Luckily, I did split the field a little bit, so I ended up with one other guy, the Supus fellow guy that you'll see later, about 20 seconds or so. And I thought maybe we'd be able to stick it because we had like a 30-meter gap going into the headwind section. But earlier in the video, all of the breakaways lasted until we got to the headwind section. And that's exactly the same thing that happened for me. So unfortunately, the break did not stick, but it was fun nonetheless. As you can see, Supus fellow guy pulling through, and it was everything that I had to get on his wheel. He was soaring. But coming into this corner, the gap started to close, and we both started looking back, and we knew that we were going to get caught. So I just kind of sit up a little bit and wait for them to catch us so I can get a little bit of a recovery. Right here, Cameron Howard goes through. He's very strong. Jackson on his wheel. It was kind of a sprint effort just to get back on this train here. I knew at this point I didn't have a sprint, so I just wanted to finish the race in decent position. Coming into this final corner here, if I had any energy, I would have started sprinting there. That was the place to sprint, but like I said, I didn't have anything. So I'm just going to roll in here. I think I finished 12th on the day, which I'm pretty happy about considering how hard that effort was to pull that breakaway. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good night or day. I don't know what time you're watching this from. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.